In this video, I'm going to show you how to get rid of those robotic spam calls that are driving you crazy. I have a simple strategy for getting rid of these annoying robocalls. Worked for me and has removed the calls by about 90%. So I get about 10% of what I've used to get. Now this strategy actually gets rid of 100% for a while, and then when you switch it, it comes back to just 10%. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, take you through step by step to make sure you understand. And then we can get you to actually answer phone calls that are not robots. Welcome everybody, I'm Kevin from helpfultutorials.net. If you like iPhone tips, tricks, and tutorials, do me a favor, smack that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in and show you what's going on. I came across this strategy kind of by mistake. The original one, how to block 100%, I figured out, but stick with me and I'll tell you kind of how it works. What you can do in your phone is you could go through and set up to send calls that are not on your contacts directly to voicemail. So all you do is receive a pop-up and then it goes directly to voicemail. Now you could also go in your settings and change that notification so it doesn't even pop up. That way all you see is a red one when someone calls and then it goes directly to voicemail. I got so fed up, I was getting 5 to 6 robocalls a day and I couldn't take it anymore. So I said, all right, let's do it. If you're interested in doing it, I'm going to show you how to do it. After I show you the steps, I'll explain what happened when I switched it back. So let's go ahead and choose settings. And we're going to go to Do Not Disturb. Keep in mind with Do Not Disturb, this means you won't be disturbed at these certain times. I go ahead and click Do Not Disturb. I turn it on. I have mine actually scheduled to come on 11 at night and 7:50 in the morning. And then it dims my screen. And phone, allow calls from everyone. What you want to do is click here and change it to all contacts. Now this is only going to allow people in your phone to call you. If you're like me, you only answer phone calls from people you know anyway, so why not do this? Kind of doesn't make sense not to. You could put it favorites if you want to narrow it even more, but I think all contacts for me is good enough. Then I go back, and now I have all contacts. So now we have repeat calls. The second call from the same person in 3 minutes will not be silenced. You can keep that on if you're worried about that, but some places do that automatically. They call instantly back to try and get you. So I usually turn that off. Again, if it's an emergency, someone can text me. And nowadays, that's kind of how it is. So if you want it scheduled, you would leave this on. If you want it to happen all the time, you would just turn that off. Now this would happen all the time and it will go through and only allow calls from your contacts. So now we'll go back, and now if calls come in, it'll still notify you, but that's all. So what we want to do next is go into notifications. There's phone, we'll tap on it. Now I turned off the lock screen altogether because I didn't want to see it on the lock screen. But what I usually do is I just turn these off altogether. So now I am not getting notifications at all. Now keep in mind, this part will affect calls that you get too, so you won't be able to see it as well when you're receiving a call. So this part's completely up to you. Like I said, I don't really get any phone calls, so I decided to go ahead and just turn it off altogether. If you're worried about getting phone calls, leave it on and just maybe turn lock screen off. You'd still be notified by a banner or the notification center. Also, you'll receive like a, vibrate, or your song will play depending on what mode you have it set on. I would at least get rid of lock screen, but this is an optional step. This is up to you. So what happened after I did this? After I did this, I was still getting calls often. And I know this because I could go into my phone, go into recent, and I'll see spam calls. The first week I would keep going in there and just tapping on it so the one would go away, every once in a while, or the two, depending on how many I had. And it stayed this way for about a week or so. And then I noticed I had to do it less. And then I noticed I'd do it less. And then again, I had to do it less. What happened? What happened was the robocalls The ones that I'm on lists for are noticing that I'm not answering and it's going directly to voicemail. It's not even ringing. They're not even getting a chance. It's just going straight to voicemail. They stay on the list, and what happens is after so many times, they're like, okay, this phone number is no longer good. It's just wasting space, so it gets purged from the list. Now, not all robocallers do this, but a good amount do. That way they reach people that are there. There's also ones that just make up random numbers, and if it's making up random phone numbers, it's not going to protect against that one because you never know when that one's going to get hit. But then I needed to get a phone call back from my cable company because I was having some problems with my modem, and I had to turn it off. And when I turned it off, I got a call back from them, and I left it go because no one else was calling. It's been about a week now, and I've received about 2 robocalls, which is amazing. So basically, blocking them for, say, a month or so has really purged them from the list. So if you're getting hit with lots and lots of calls, I would try to do this for a month if you could. You may not want to turn it off afterwards, to be honest, because it's pretty nice to not have on. But you can turn this off afterwards, and you will get a lot less robocalls because they're purging you from the list. So give this a try. Feel free to save this video, come back later after you've waited a month or a week or 2 weeks, however long you want to wait, and then turn it back on and see if that helps. I would do at least 2 weeks. I think a month is probably the best marker for it, but I would do at least 2 weeks. Good luck, and thank you for the view.